Hey there, my name is Chris Acton with Acting Creative, and this is A Handwoven Experience, episode 75. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about when to re-slay your read. So let's start at the top and make sure you understand how everything all fits together. What is a reed? A reed is this piece in your loom. It fits in the beater bar. Looks like this when it's not in your loom. Just a frame with these evenly divided spaces here. And its sole purpose is to keep your yarns evenly spaced in the width that you have determined. That's all it needs to do. So when you dress your loom and before you start weaving, I always recommend that you take a moment and lift your shafts and see how it looks. See how your spacing is, what you've determined in your reed ahead of time, and how it looks in reality. And there's a few instances when I think it's worth your time to re-slay it before you start the weaving. So the first instance is when you can clearly tell that it is not spaced correctly. For instance, if you get here and you think those yarns are just too close together, that's really going to affect what your weaving looks like. So I recommend that you take the time and actually go back in and move them so they're farther apart, and vice versa. The second instance is when you find that your project just isn't in the center. And I don't mean by like a little half inch, I mean drastically. If you sit here and you're like, oh, it's really leaning left or right, take the time to re-slay your reed. Your loom is going to function better if your project is in the middle, basically. That's always what you are aiming for. Now, you'll notice in my list of 2 things, I didn't say if there is a threading error, but I want to address it. So if you get to this point and you find that you have, let's say, 2 yarns in the same dent, in the same space that wasn't supposed to be there, or you've skipped one, if you find a threading error like that, you have 2 choices. You can take the time and undo everything and move that accordingly and then redo it, or you can leave it there. I know, for some of those personalities out there, it just makes your skin itch, doesn't it, to think about leaving it there. But here's the thing, the goal is to get to the weaving. And depending on where your little threading error is, it may take you another hour or 2 to fix it. And is that worth it? I'm just throwing it out there. Because you know, these projects, they're all handmade. They're hand woven and adds a little personality, I think. Not that I expect you to do it intentionally, but ponder if it's worth it. That is my question to you. Is it worth it to take the time to fix that threading error? If it is for you, great. Godspeed, go do it. If not, I fully give you permission to leave it in, because I would. All right. Hope that gave you a little something to chew on, and you have a better kind of big picture of when to really take the time to re-slay your reed, because it is time, and time is valuable. So if you've been enjoying Acting Creative, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You'll get a first look at all the videos coming up. All right, friends, have a wonderful week and happy weaving.